Alrighty, I got the live chat up here. I had some little technical difficulties here. Getting the actual chat messages to show up. I'm doing this with a different device here, but try to make do. So sorry if there's anybody on there that I lost, but I'll give it a go now, and we'll see what happens. So. Oh my. The door doesn't want to shut. Alright. So, I'm just sitting here drinking some whiskey. Sorry, scotch. And I'll wait for some people to show up. So. I'm just working on cleaning up my Taurus tracker here, so I will be doing that while I kind of wait and see if anybody shows up. Wiping her down, giving her a good soak. Yeah, this is kind of a last minute thing. I tried to throw together. Just have a little chance here on Sunday, so not a big deal. But so if nobody shows up, oh well. Just figured I'd give it a go. I had some good feedback from the last one, so. Okay, we'll give it a couple more minutes here. Bought some new ammo today. Just checking that stuff out too. Alright, looks like we got somebody new here. Feel free to chat, man. We got it all open context here, so if anybody's got anything to say to start getting some dialogue going, feel free. Roscoe and the Bunnyman. What's going on? Oh, not much. Just working on cleaning my Taurus tracker here. I'm checking out some new ammo I picked up today. The Hornady handgun hunter. It's a pretty, if you're into 44 mags, it's a pretty nice looking bullet on there. And it's 200 grain monoflex. I haven't really looked a ton into it. I believe it's an all copper projectile, but it says it's California approved, so whatever that means. Probably just because of the whole lead basis there. But I went out to Williams gun site today. Check them out. That's in. Geez, I'm gonna draw a blank here. It's over by like Burton area in Michigan. And I was just checking out stock and stuff. Oh, yeah, it's either a solid copper or a semi-metallic solid. Yeah, I know they just came out with it, so all I can say is that it's certified non-lead bullets. So I'm interested to try these out though. I've been gearing up for hunting. I use 44 mag, not the tracker. I use my Raging Bull for handgun, and I use a Marlin 44 lever gun for deer down here, which is fast approaching for the season. I did pick up some Lever Evolution ammo from Hornady as well. Pretty good guy there. I haven't tried these yet. I was interested to see. It's supposed to get you a little bit more effective distance, but we'll see. I need to sight it in here momentarily, really. Make sure I'm up and at them with keeping up with the deer. So, but yeah, I am enjoying some scotch here, so hopefully nobody minds. That's my drink of choice. So on these live chats, this is my second one, so I like to sit back, just hang out a little bit. So I guess yeah, anything cool in the gun industry that you've seen? Probably the biggest thing I've seen is that I'm excited about is Ruger buying Marlin. Depending on what type of firearms you're into and whatnot, but thought that was pretty cool. I have high hopes for that purchase from Ruger. I think there'll be a lot of big changes, to be honest, for them. So I've used the Hornady GMX bullet and 7mm Mauser, and it's a semi-metallic solid and expands very well on whitetail. Yeah, no, I don't know where you're from, but yeah, it's pretty sweet. Unfortunately, well, I live in Lower Michigan, so we're only in a straight wall cartridge shooting zone. So, yeah, like 7mm, definitely a no-no. That's why I'm going for 44 mag. I've tried a couple different cartridges. It was either that or a shotgun for a long time before. And just rifles are generally easier. So with the straight wall cartridge being allowed, yeah, 44 mag's definitely a good one. 450 Bushmaster and 350 Legend are the real big ones. A couple of the old timers like 44 mag and stuff, but there's definitely some ways to skirt the laws though. I've heard of people taking a 45-70 and oh, there, now it's working. Yeah, I had some difficulties there early on. Yeah, no, I mean it's scary. You never know what's going to happen with Marlin. I think Ruger's industry-wise, Ruger's probably the best people for the to own them really. If you think about it, their market shares, Marlin sucked for years after that and just recently started getting their crap together. Yeah, I hope Ruger. I mean, Ruger's got pretty good hands down as far as quality on, their biggest products. I think that really it's up to up to them with their balls in their court as far as Marlin goes. It could go a couple ways. I think they're gonna, from what I've heard, I think they're gonna keep it pretty separate and try to, keep the brands separate. But they're definitely aimed at the same type of people. St. Petersburg, Florida. So, St. Petersburg, Florida. Heck yeah, man. Florida's a nice place. Definitely a better winter than up here in Michigan, but yeah. I think, yeah, no, I mean, Marlin is, we'll see. I don't know. I have high hopes though, so hopefully. I think Ruger's gonna definitely open up some potentials. Maybe a 450 Bushmaster or a 350 Legend round would be pretty cool. And a lever gun, I think that would sell quite a bit. But Ruger's definitely geared towards a lot of hunters as well as concealed carriers, so I don't think it's unrealistic to think that they wouldn't put out maybe some self-defense geared ones or lever guns as well. So we'll see. But has anybody got anything else? Topic discussions? Get something going? I mean, I've been trying to keep up to date on everything as far as firearms go. Let me see here. How's the Taurus 44 mag doing? See, I was just here, I was waiting. So I just got my tracker here. So I have two. I have the Raging Bull and I have this tracker. Tracker obviously is quite a bit of a lighter revolver. The biggest thing I did is I changed out the grips to these Hogue mono grips. These are really comfy, but a little bit better than the old. I got them down here actually. And the old rubber grips here. I think I've actually seen in some of the Taurus's promotional products that they have out, promotional guides and whatnot. They're starting to change these, and they're starting to change some of their grips, so that's kind of a good thing because they're kind of outdated. But other than that, as far as the tracker goes, it's been great. I shoot it quite a bit. It's held up fine. I mean, there's no real wear or discernible wear on any of the mechanisms that move it. Obviously, you get your little cylinder wear mark here, but it's been good. I'd like to see a 458 SOCOM. I built quite a few ARs. I've been building them since. Okay. Yep. Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet. I'd be probably pretty dang close to the 4570, to be honest. Isn't that? If I remember right, I believe the 458 SOCOM was similar ballistically wise to that. But yeah, it'd be cool. Definitely, especially if you have some ARs in that platform to be able to use it back and forth interchangeably. I've thought about building a 458 before. It's definitely a cool round. Like I said, where I'm at in Michigan, as far as hunting wise, I can't do much with it. So we'll see. Definitely a fun range gun, but unless I get up into some. So like my brother, he hunts in northern Michigan, and he uses a 450 Bushmaster, which is legal in lower Michigan for both zones. So I don't know. He's effective with that. I don't know. Most of the time I see a deer. I guess it depends on where you're at, but I live in a lot of cornfields and soybean fields, stuff like that. So most of the deer I see are inside of 70, 75 yards. So it's really, range doesn't really help me much because I can get it with actually most things. That's why a lot of people used to use like buckshot loads and stuff like that because they're fairly close. Definitely not like a 200, 250, 300 yard shot. I was actually out building a blind with my buddy, and because we're gonna hunt there together this year. And earlier this year, we had just had a little buck come up and stand there 15 yards from us and just stare at us for like 10 minutes. It was kind of nuts, but they do weird things sometimes, especially off hunting season. And the scotch is gone, so. So I've got a couple people here. So yeah, no, I mean the whole gun market, gun stores. I've only been to a few since all this is open. I kind of dialed back my purchases just because, you know, uncertainty wise as far as like jobs and stuff like that. But yeah, I went to a fairly big gun store in our area and stock was low. There's no 22 ammo. Lucked out on some 44 mag ammo. I reload, but really don't want to dump all my primers and stuff out for, you know, some target loads and stuff, and I don't have the best bullets. That's why I got some hunting ammo loads. But yeah, they don't have 22, don't have 9mm, don't have 40, don't have 45. It's just kind of nuts. Yeah, the pressure is at 36,000 psi, which is way low enough to do it. Oh yeah, ammo prices are crazy. As to this, I don't know what these ran before. So this was the Lever Evolution 44 mag for $22.91 for 20 rounds. And these solid copper handgun hunter loads I wanted to try. That was $30. Well, basically 31 cents or $31. So and that was for 20. So not cheap. But I haven't been able to find 9mm, at least in a brick and mortar store, for quite some time. So that's unfortunate. That's my main thing that I use for carry is my SIG P320, and I've actually been thinking about trying to get into a 44 mag, 44 special carry just because I can find the ammo pretty easy, and obviously I reload for it as well. So we'll see. That's why you have to reload it. I got tired of paying $70 for 20 cartridges. Oh yeah. No, reloading is a great thing. I would encourage anybody to do it, really, especially in these times. Luckily, I stocked up on quite a few primers and stuff like that. My big thing is I didn't quite get into. I got casting stuff as well, and I have some lead available, but I didn't get the 44 mag caliber bullet casting, so I'm really kind of limited on bullet choice. I can probably make 1,000 rounds of 44 mag right now, just with cases I have saved up, and just kind of keep going. That's a lot of ammo to go through, especially in 44 mag. But luckily I have enough powder and stuff. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully things kind of go back to normal. I got some guns I want to get, and they're just hard to get right now, so. I'm from Florida. I grew up using a shotgun. Yep. Oh yeah, no, shotguns are, that's the first thing I went out with was a 20 gauge shotgun, so that was a single shot. And it was fine. Effective, but just, yardage wise, kind of limited. But definitely had some fun memories, and I keep a lot of shotguns on hand that I have. Some old ones, nothing real fancy or anything like that. My brother's got some fancier stuff, but he's more into bird hunting and stuff like that. I haven't really done much of that, but I'm pretty content with my Remington 870 pump, so. As far as that goes. So if anybody's got any, Everybody give a thumbs up. There's, oh yeah, 4 of you guys. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for commenting though. This is kind of last notice here, so I just had a spare minute. Figured I'd give it a try, see if anybody was interested in it. So I had a pretty good conversation last time. So it's always good to meet people. And low audio. Well, sorry. I'll try to talk a little louder here. See if that helps. Try to adjust some things. Okay, hopefully that helps. But so yeah, anything else with people? Anything up new in the gun world? I don't know if anybody's seen any videos. I bought some. Let me get it out here. It's called metalloid stuff. But giving it a try. I don't know if anybody's seen this stuff. It's actually made in Michigan. They have a whole bunch of crap. This isn't an advertisement or some shit, but no, it's just I got like all these bottles of different types of lubricants and stuff for like $8 at Dunham's. So it was on clearance, so I figured it was worth a try to just have a bunch of different types of crap on hand. I use a lot of different stuff. Like I got, Tetra gun grease I use on some things. Hoppy's number 9. Some Rem oil. Some handmade stuff. Stuff works. Do you know if on an AR flip sight irons will... Oh, that's that there. Let me see here. Sorry, there. I gotta get this back up. Do you know if on an AR flip sight irons will any AR sight tool work? That I don't know for sure. Unfortunately, I've only ever used Magpul sights on my ARs for iron sights. So as far as being universal, I guess I couldn't answer that for sure. But that's unfortunately something you'd have to just kind of find out. Probably better to ask a forum or something, AR forum, because I don't have, like I said, I just use the same site, so that makes it easier. These are cheap, Fiachi. Oh, Fiocchi? Or Fiachi, I've never heard of that. Yeah, that's news to me. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you probably want to find somewhere else to clarify that. But I don't know, I always used the Magpul polymer. I didn't get the expensive iron sight ones, like real irons. I got the polymer ones, and they always seem to work just fine. So that's just what I've used in my experience. But some of them I've put a red dot or something like that. So and I've sold some ARs too in the past. Definite budget sight thing. Yeah. I'm sorry, man. But has anybody got any? I was kind of talking there a little bit about lubes and stuff. Does anybody have like a favorite brand or something that they like to use? I know that's kind of one of them things. What works good for you? Like I said, I've always used Rem oil quite a bit just because it's nice in the aerosol can. The gun grease, I like using that in some spots too, especially in guns that aren't really, because it will gum up, with dirt and stuff. So it's not probably the best choice in like a semi-auto, at least in like a handgun that gets a lot more dirt internally wise, just because it's exposed more. But Ballistol and Geisley Go Juice. Yeah, I've heard good stuff about the Geisley, as well as Ballistol. I've never tried it yet though, so I gotta try to find some of that. Every time I look, I haven't ordered online. I always just find something on clearance, and hence why I have just a generic cornucopia of different types of lubes and stuff. So, is what it is, I suppose. Yeah, I actually try to make some of my own mix here. It looks kind of nasty here. You kind of got to shake it up. But so this I used. So anecdotal evidence will show, you know, like ATF fluid is a pretty good cleaner. Has some detergents in it and stuff. So this is kind of a mix of ATF cleaner. I put in a little bit of wax, Caranuba wax. Kind of gives like a little slight haze as far as on the surface of a gun. So that's why it's settled out. So if you mix it up, it applies pretty good. But I've tried this on a couple like single shot shotguns and stuff, just kind of giving a trial run. But it seems to work. Yeah, I believe so. ATF fluid. There was a little bit of hydraulic fluid as well. I got some tractors and stuff, so tend to have a lot of various fluids on hand. And I believe there's a little bit of vegetable oil in here as well. So if you look into a lot of the green oil product or gun oil products, they typically are vegetable oil, like canola or just any one of them. There's two different styles of sights, of rear sights. Yep. Oh. There we go. Oh. The A2 sight has a horizontal left to right adjustment. Oh yeah, no, I mean that's AR sights are like it's a wide field of there's just definitely a lot of choices to choose from. Whether you want to try to get like an A2 style or whatnot. Those are cool. I mean, they're nice. I like the way they work out, but I've just always, like I said, I've always just went with Magpul. I guess I'm not really a fanboy. They were cheap, and when I was building them, it was good to go. So you can buy a series of rear sight assembly tools from Brownells. Yeah, no, Brownells is a great place. I bought quite a few tools from there. Got this AR tool here, DPMS. Works good. Try to get some more tools and stuff around here. My bench is a complete mess right now. I don't know, is anybody else's bench, well, maybe I shouldn't show that, but anybody else's bench just like piled up with a lot of different shit. Got like wrenches, ratchets, some various parts. I need to really go through and clean up a bunch of stuff. I actually have kind of a room down here in my basement that I kind of just devote to gun stuff. So I got my press here, a little shelf here to store some. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to have my fan there. Oh God, it's hard to hold. I'm doing this on the iPad just so you guys know, so it's kind of hard. So I keep my bullets and powders and stuff in there in this shelf. Got a computer, cleaner, chronograph, old bed frame, stuff like that, but not trying to leave it messy. Definitely need to go through and clean up some stuff, but I don't know. I get a lot of little projects going, so it's like, oh yeah, end up with just cleaner, degreaser, cold bluing, just a lot of crap. I need to go through this and get rid of some stuff. It'd actually be probably a good winter project. But yeah, that's how she goes. Does anybody else have gun rooms or anything like that they try to devote a space? One thing with so I don't know if anybody has a lot of, I guess moving on, I don't know if anybody has any real experience with the lever. Oh, got a workbench in the basement, kind of messy. Is that you or are you talking about mine? Because mine is messy. So, yeah, I mean, that's just one of them things. I come down here and I do some work, clean my guns. Yeah, so you're not alone there, man. Yeah, like I'll go down, clean a gun, work on it, kind of tinker with some stuff, maybe load a few rounds, and then I go back upstairs. So it's just a basement room. I like to keep all my stuff in here because I got a little 4-year-old, so I like to kind of keep it separate from her. Sorry, please priced on lever gun. Got Rossi. So you got a Rossi 44 mag lever gun. What's in the 92, correct? Yep. Okay. Yeah, I've been interested in them. How do you like it? Because the only one I have is a Marlin, and the only other experience I have with lever guns is my dad's got an old pre-60s Winchester 30-30 lever gun. That's a pretty sweet gun, but that's his. So, but my only one I have a Marlin. So how do you like the Rossi? I've seen them at some local stores. It's a pretty good price point. I'd like to get another one. Okay, that's good. So probably better than the Remlins that they're called. The only issue I have with mine is there's a slight cant to the front sight, and you can really only tell if you have the little hood on the front sight. But other than that, it's been good. Finishes held up good. I like the wood quality and whatnot, but I have really thought about getting some more. If you want a CLP style cleaner, try gun treatment. Magnetic, that's pretty fancy. Yeah, no, I'll give that a try. I'll write that down. I'll give it a go. It's probably the fastest and smoothest. That definitely works. Yeah, no, I want to get into some lever guns. I think people actually don't give a lever gun a lot of credit because it's honestly a really good home defense gun, especially in like a pistol caliber like that. Birchwood Casey. Oh, so should be pretty easy to find then, really, because Birchwood Casey's got a lot of support across the industry. So as far as websites and stuff like that. But yeah, no, lever guns are, I think, top notch for home defense wise. So. And you can always use them as a club. So that was always the thing. I was always kind of afraid, like if you had to use an AR-15, the incredible energy they can produce at the barrel length is, oh yeah, no, they can really make them pistol calibers or even the rifle caliber ones. They really do make some good energy, and they're shorter, compact. They actually have some heft to them, so you could use them as a club. Battle saw works very well. It was designed by the Germans right after World War II. They used it on leather, firearms, cannons. Yeah, no, I mean, if the Germans made it, it's probably pretty dang good. They made a lot of good stuff, so I'll have to give Battle Saw a try too. I got a whole list. I should just write. I'll probably go back through this video and write down, some recommendations stuff and check this stuff out. That's why I like. Last time I did this, it was kind of good to learn some things, and hopefully, I can get quite a bit from it. So, hopefully, some of you guys get some stuff out of it too. So, it's just cool to talk to people, likewise or like-minded conversation. And no, I don't have coronavirus. If you get a little cough here and there. They're actually running soybeans, leaf burning starting. Allergies are just going nuts. So that's the one thing right now. Definitely, it's like you don't want to cough in a store or anything because people are just going to ostracize the shit out of you. Do you think Remington will honor lifetime warranties despite bankruptcy? So that's a tough one because, technically, I guess it would depend on how the purchasing of Remington worked out. Because sometimes, like when a corporation buys out another company, you know, they can deem what they want out of the sale. So technically, they don't have to honor it because that was. Oh, I mean, yeah. No, technically, they don't have to probably honor any of the lifetime warranties. Do I think they will? Probably, because at the same token, the program's already set in place. They got all the information. It really wouldn't take much extra out of it for them to do, especially if the infrastructure's already in place. And if they got rid of it, they'd shit all over a lot of, you know, people in the gun industry, and that would make a lot of people upset. So, could they change it? Yeah, they could change their future policies if they don't want to offer a lifetime warranty anymore in the future. That's definitely a possibility, but I think there's probably a high likelihood that they'll honor, you know, on existing sold firearms at least, that they'll honor it. At least I hope so. If they don't, then it's going to be hard to get Remington out of the hole they've been in, so. It's a pretty deep hole too, to be honest. Let's see. Has anybody tried any new, anything new for concealed carry, or anybody thinking of new concealed carry options? I've been looking at maybe getting a new CCW revolver. I know the big fad right now is the P365. So I don't know if everybody, you know, watching is CCWing, but the carry handle styles. And, back to the AR-15s. Oh yeah, There's lots of different sight options. You know, I have a bit of different type of shit that I've tried out and switched out, and different types of scopes and optic mounts and whatnot. But you know, I'm looking. Well, today when I went to the gun store, I was looking at a Kimber K6S. That looks like a pretty nice small. Oh yeah, it's sky price. Prices everywhere have skyrocketed, so I wouldn't be surprised, you know, for that type of equipment in general. Yeah, Magpul stuff is, it's very determined upon where you get it to, because I found places the price varies so widely. Like at gun shows and stuff, like I found some guys where I was able to get my Magpul polymer sights, EMBUS, for, I want to say I got both of them for a total of about $60, which is pretty cheap. But then, you know, the same weekend I went to the show, there was somebody who had them for sale for like 120. So you're talking a complete spread there of almost double the price, or basically double the price. So, yeah, no, Magpul stuff is weird. I do like it though. It's pretty nice stuff. For being polymer, they've definitely been kind of industry leading, and some cool designs and whatnot. Right. No, definitely true. My attention span varies quite widely, so that's like when I reload. So sorry, I don't mean to get my finger in the way there. So I have a lead turret press. So as you can see, you know, turrets. The idea is to index and do multiple with every pull doing an action to each one of these dies. But anymore, I've found I like to use the turret to hold everything together. So like this is set up for 44 mag. I can just pop it in. Now it's going to be a bear to get lined up with one hand here on camera. Off. There we go. But I also have another puck here, or turret, I guess. So I have another one here set up for 357 mag. And I just kind of keep that aside. Keep everything, set the correct dimensions and everything and just swap them out. So that's kind of how I use the turret press. But other than that, I'll go through one day and just pop out all my primers and deprime all the cases, and then I'll run them through. I have an ultrasonic cleaner, I'll run it through that. And then, I'll just build up some brass, and then the next day, not necessarily the next day in sequence, but next time I'll go through and prime everything and, really actually probably finish the rest of it. But those, breaking it up like that, it definitely, I think, doesn't feel as long. It's easier to do an ammo run. Last batch I did was with 100 rounds of 44 mag. Not saying it takes forever, but I like being a little bit more detailed. I take the calipers every couple rounds, and not a cheap, or not an expensive set of calipers. I just got some good old Harbor Freight ones. This works. I've had this for years actually now, and it works just fine. The digital is easy to read out. I'm not a trained machinist, so. Well, yeah, good. It's good to find ammo online. That's a good source to get it, really. But so I always, when I reload, if anybody's interested, obviously, I always make a dummy round, especially if I'm just starting a new type of bullet. So these are some XTPs, if you can see there. And I leave the primer out. So I use this dummy round, to get my dimensions right, so to make sure I have the right lengths, right tolerances, and then I will go through with this dummy round. So this is safe, so if anybody's concerned. So I'll take the dummy round, put it in, and just check fit, ejection, and stuff like that. Obviously it's going to fire for them when you shoot it, but as long as it feeds in good, it should fire, as long as I got the right charge and don't blow myself up. But as long as it goes in easy. And then I kind of keep one from every run batch I do. It's just good to have, I think. Obviously, nothing's going to happen. There's no primer, there's no powder. Nothing to really worry about. So I've got one for 357 mag. It's just nice to be able to compare. So if you make it to the correct measurement, you can always go back to it during the run that you're doing. So that's one thing I kind of like to do. But no, it's good to have different tools and stuff. Does anybody reload here that's watching right now? Yes, if they fit in a safety, if they fit in a case gauge, yeah, they're definitely fit. I probably should get that. Revolvers are quite a bit more forgiving. There's let me see, dimensionally, so again, dummy round. Dimensionally, this 44 mag, obviously fits there. It's going to fit between, it's going to be able to lock up. The only thing that you really need to worry about is that it fits on the front of the cylinder there. So, and actually, if you look there, there, you got quite a bit of wiggle room. That's just how it goes, really. You got wiggle room to try. So, as far as case, as far as now throwing this into a lever gun or something, that might be a little bit different story. But that's why I use the calipers. So that kind of keeps everything together. can keep them uniform and stuff like that. The other thing I use, grab it real quick, pardon me, is a chronograph here. Kind of awkward looking. There's obviously better designs out there. This is a pretty cheap one. This is Caldwell. A little wobbly and whatnot, and it's really dependent upon light and stuff, but it works really good to try to figure out you know, your energy you're putting out. Make sure your loads aren't, you know, going to be like just I mean, because that's with 44 mag you can load 44 special basically out of the cases. You can load hotter. It definitely kind of helps dial in what you're trying to do out of it as well. So, chronograph helps. So, if anybody reloads, I think I picked that up for about 100 and some change. It's pretty cool. You can get an app for your phone and hook up and save, you know, trends and whatnot. So, it works good. So, I'd recommend it. Any case gauge works to SAMI spec. Not every case gauge is perfectly manufactured, just like every barrel isn't perfect. That's a good point. Every gun's different. So, like I said, revolvers are pretty forgiving for the most part. As long as you follow, like I said, SAMI spec. I mean, there's set specifications for how long this 44 mag needs to be, just like any round. I don't know if I have. Oh. That's like 10 millimeter here. You know, if you're off on that, it tends to cause issues. If you're doing pistol cartridges, simply use the barrel out of your pistol and the old plumbing test where you drop it. Oh yeah, no, that's definitely for true there. The only thing with pistols are versus revolvers is, so with a little bit more wiggle room in the revolver here, it's a little bit more forgiving. If you're a little long, that's why I really like using the calipers, but a case gauge works great. I mean, I'm sure, but I don't know. That's probably one of the things. There's a 6 in one, half a dozen of the other kind of things. I don't know. I find easiest though is doing straight wall cartridges just in general. I was at Walmart the other day and people started jamming in the aisle all around me and broke. Oh my god. Oh yeah. I don't know if there's a delay or whatever, but yeah. As far as the coughing. No, COVID's just stressful. People get all butthurt over everything. Do you think that the pistol today is out of date? That's a good question. Good topic. So the pistol today. I think to some degree I mean, does it work effectively? Yeah. I mean, does this revolver that I have on my bench right here, does that work effectively? Oh yeah. I mean, that'd get the job done for self-defense and everything. As far as the pistol today being out of date, I think it's current. I don't think that it's, you know, like a lot of people will say that revolvers are a bygone era. But I enjoy them, and that's one of the things. Do you enjoy the pistols you shoot? I mean, I think that's the only reason the 1911 is still around, is people enjoy them. They shoot nice. You can be more, in my experience, typically like with single actions or double action single actions, I tend to shoot more accurately, especially if you're really trying to stretch out a shot, going into single action. It gives you the option. Striker fire, yeah, you can do just as well, especially with lighter calibers, but I think trend-wise, that long-term, so I don't know if everybody's seen the, was it the FK Bruno, whatever, it's a hard Czech company name. You know, they're putting out that, the pistol today, and 95% of the manufacturers use the John lockup. Right, no, that's like the R51 from Remington. That was a weird lockup. I forget the name, but a rotated barrel lockup. My brother's got a Grand Power. it's cool. I mean, it keeps the action. It just rotates with it. The a couple Brettas have them, but it's a cool. There's a lot of different variations of how firearm mechanisms work, but I don't think anything's really out of date. It's tempted, but I think it's a gimmick gun. Oh, the FK Bernal. Yeah, sorry, I'll get back to that. Yeah, I do think it's kind of a gimmick, but their new one, their polymer frame one, granted $1,400. I think it's the PSD or whatever. But it does have the option to shoot 9mm. You can get it in 10mm and the 7.5 FK Bernal. So I think to a degree, I think that should be kind of the trend. Obviously, modularity I think is going to be more of a trend. You never know with the political climate as far as what firearms are going to be. So it's like my P320. I have options. If I get limited to how many handguns I can own, I can get some different calibers and stuff with the same type of firearm, or the same firearm, just switching it out. That's why I think, in some areas, different states, you're going to see some trends keep going with that. So Taurus makes a tracker in 692 that has you have a little button here that you can remove the cylinder and switch it between 9mm, 38 or 38 Special 357 using the same revolver. I think that's a smart idea, and I think that'll be a kind of a trend moving forward. I think recoil mitigation will be a trend moving forward. Like the 10mm, great round, a lot of power. It used to be people couldn't effectively shoot this, but with designs nowadays, this should be, more strongly considered for self-defense just because it's got more power. Now, is it over-penetrating? Potentially, but I mean, bullet designs can do a lot. Same thing why 9mm's been so strong. The bullet designs have changed so much that it went from being kind of a weak, anemic cartridge to what it was originally to being a pretty strong, well-suited cartridge. So long term, I don't know what the firearm industry is going to do, but as far as pistols, they're gonna keep changing. Somebody's gonna throw out something kind of gimmicky, something will stick. New trends, obviously like red dots. That's getting to be a big thing. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. Just jumped on the 10mm train about a year ago. Now the FK Bernal came out, and I agree with modularity. Oh yeah, 7K version. That's just for fancy rich people, in my mind. But yeah, the cheaper version, I could justify, that $1,500, I guess, if you could have 3 different types of cartridges you could shoot through it. And it's a cool design that's supposed to mitigate recoil and stuff like that. But the 10mm bandwagon, I think that's a good one. It's definitely got a lot of power. It's definitely got a lot of options. The way they're designing guns now, it used to be a grip thing that, 45 and 10 was a big grip gun. You can get them in smaller and smaller sized guns. The only thing that I think they should have in the 10mm is like, single stacks. I think that'd be a good option. Do I have a big collection? So that's kind of a double-edged question, but I tend to buy and sell guns off and on. I'll typically hold on to them unless it's like something I really like. I'll typically hold on to them for like 2 years, 3 years, and then if I get bored of it, I'll trade it out. Granted, I might lose some money on it, but I like getting different guns, trying different things. And then, like I said, I find something I really like. Like I said, I'm on 44 mag kick. I like them. I'll probably never get rid of my 44 mags, and I'll probably add to my 44 mag collection. As far as, different like carry guns and stuff, I kind of buy and sell, trade them sometimes here and there. So my overall collection isn't huge, but I also don't have anything in my collection that's like super rare or anything that can't easily be replaced. Or you could pick up a used version down the line. So it's like this Taurus tracker. I really enjoy this revolver here, but could I easily get it again if I got rid of it? Yeah. So, and I don't have a super emotional attachment to anything. My family growing up, like, yeah, we had shotguns and a couple rifles and stuff, but that was mainly all I ever had experience with. But so pistols are kind of a new thing to me when I just started getting guns, and I enjoy them a lot. But like, I don't have any family heirloom pistols and stuff like that. There's some shotguns and stuff that I'll keep forever just because of who they're from. Other than that, unless it's something I really like, sometimes I'll put it on a chopping block and put it towards another purchase. Do I go to auctions? No, I've never been to an auction, gun auction. I know there's been some online ones locally, and I've checked them out and kind of seen like how the trends kind of go. But like I said, something that probably should try to get into, try to find something different, unique, hard to find. That's probably where I'm going to start heading to in my collection wise. I've definitely been trying to sell less guns. I mean, when I first started getting into guns, I mean, obviously, it was always kind of hard to justify, like, to my wife, like, I'm going to get this new gun. It's like a $700-800 gun. It's always was easier to put the blow to her. Like, yeah, I traded that in and took, half price off of it. So, not the best way to do it, but sometimes, happy wife, happy life, you got to keep things rolling. So, but, getting older and stuff like that, it's probably better to slow down my purchases and stuff, be a little bit more deliberate, and kind of keep things I like and just kind of keep accumulating. That's where a lot of times, so sometimes I'm an impulsive person, so I'll find something cool that I think is cool, and I want to buy it, and I'll just go right out and be like, hell yeah, sure. It's like today I was looking at the Luger 5.7 and almost, but I asked the guy, and I'm like, you guys have any ammo in stock or anything like that in the back? And he's like, no, not at all. We don't have any time soon that we're gonna probably expect it. Looked on my phone, and it's just hard to get, so I'm like, I'm pissed on it. I'm thinking to buy that today. Maybe in the future. How many bullets have I consumed in my life? I wouldn't say I'm like a super high volume shooter, because when I first got into guns, I lived in an apartment, so I was severely limited on how much I could actually shoot on a day-to-day basis. I try to get around, every once a month, or at least every 2 months, get a couple hundred rounds through in a shooting session, just to kind of shoot all my guns, get used to, keep things fresh, especially like a carry gun, stuff like that. So I guess lifetime, it's probably more than 5,000, probably less than 10,000, but I don't do anything competitive. A lot of hunting and stuff, so sighting in, but so somewhere in that 5 to 10,000 range. I know people do a lot more, but ammo's not really that cheap. That's why I reload. So and I definitely I'll buy cheap rounds, cheap loadings and stuff like that just to get the brass, because it's actually sometimes cheaper to just reuse the brass in the cheap loads than to buy newer Starline brass or a premium brass. So if I can live with the fact that it's a used case, oh well. But that's kind of that's about where I'm at. So I'm sure there's people who blow me away on that. Oh yeah, no, that's, if you want to count 22 ammo, I guess I should. It's easy to dump through that. Because of all this COVID stuff and because materials are getting hard to find, I've picked up on my 22. I bought Ruger Wrangler, Because again, I like some revolvers. Probably need to get a semi-auto 22. It's just fun to go plink and keep up to date on shooting, and it's cheap. Sometimes if you're lucky, you can still find 22, but like I said, I've got. It's easy to buy 1,000 rounds of 22, especially before all this stuff. It's really easy, so I got quite a little stash of that. So that's why I've been kind of buying 22s lately. They're cheap. The guns themselves are physically quite a bit cheaper, and they're fun to shoot and keep fresh on stuff. So, but as far as like shooting round count, I'm 31 at this point. I got into guns. First handgun I got was probably. There's actually a video. I'd have to look back. Probably 8 years ago or so. It was a Bursa Thunder 380. That was my first one. And I don't know. It's hard to keep tally. I don't really keep a tally of how many rounds, but it's definitely went a long way since then. But sometimes I miss the Bursa Thunder 380, but there's a lot of things that were nice about it and some things that weren't nice about it, but decent little gun. So I'll probably try to end here soon. If anybody's got anything else that they want to ask or talk about, or want to know my opinion on anything, I'm more than happy to. So, probably give it a good 5-10 minutes left yet. So unless we get going on something, but 7.62 or 5.56. Okay. That's a tough one. I haven't shot a lot of 7.62. I'm assuming 7.62 by 39. I really would like to get an AK to add to my gun collection. Assuming that's what you're talking about. But as far as versus, it depends on the situation. I think there's a lot of benefits to the 5.56 as far as how many rounds you can carry. They're a little lighter, so you can hold typically more rounds than a 7.62 in the same kind of package. At least that's what a lot of people purport. I think recoil is probably a lot better on an AR platform, but that's not necessarily caliber dependent, because you can get some hybrids there where they put 7.62 by 39 in an AR. But ballistically wise, definitely, I guess if I had to choose, if I was in combat, that type of situation, the 5.56 is going to go farther, and it's going to go flatter. The 7.62 is going to it's going to hit harder and not go quite as far, have a little bit more of a curve for as far as ranges go. Not saying you can't stretch out the range depending on what type of gun you're shooting it through. AK, they're not always known to be the most accurate, but there's definitely variants that are. So there's so many different types of variables there. But again, I guess getting the meat and potatoes of it, I guess if I was going to choose a round for myself to use, for defense or situation where it would be required, I'd probably choose the 7.62 over the 5.56. Not logistically, 5.56 makes more sense, but as far as like hunting game and stuff with it too, using it as a double purpose, I think you got a little bit more potential there. Yeah, good man. No, I mean that's being said, I don't even have an AK to shoot it, but I have shot it through SKS and stuff, and it's a good round. I just think it's a little bit more versatile as far as for an average Joe person. 5.56 you can use good for And it's a weird round just because of how, it's like a little freaking needle going through shit. So, I've used it on varmint and stuff like that, but yeah, I guess I don't know. But yeah, 7.62 is probably my choice personally. What types of handguns do I have? So, I don't know if you were listening a little bit back there. Sorry, I was just looking at something. Hi there. So handguns I like, or what I own, I get through kicks. I'm one of the kind of guys, I don't know, maybe you guys might dislike them, but I get into a kind of a caliber choice for a while. I definitely was real heavy into 10 millimeter a couple years back. I was using it as kind of an all-purpose for deer hunting, trying to do handgun hunting with it, self-defense, everything with it, and it filled that role pretty good. I got like 4 different types of 10 mil handguns and had a pretty good 10 mil collection going. But, like I said, tastes kind of changed. I definitely kind of been into revolvers more as of late. Definitely like the fact that you can get a lot of power in them. Definitely like the fact that, for like this instance, I can shoot in this tracker, I can shoot 44 special and 44 mag. 44 specials ballistically equivalent to a 45 ACP. And granted, that's only a 5-shot, but the mag option is great because if I wanted to use this as a backup gun for outdoors purpose, this would work just great. As far as self-defense, yeah, throw some specials through it. I like the versatility of a cartridge. That's as of late. I've been in a 44. I'm Josh from Texas. I'm honored to have you, sir. Oh, thank you. Thanks for coming. But yeah, I've definitely been more into 44 mag as of late, just because it's super versatile. I can use it for straight wall hunting in Michigan. That's a kind of a location determined thing. But because I'm limited, I can't use a lot of rifle rounds. I tend to gravitate towards something like that. So I can use, the same caliber and use it for self-defense, as well as use it for, my hunting lever gun. So I have a 22 cal. Let's see, I missed that. You're a fan of a sniper rifle, you have a 22 caliber sniper rifle. That's cool, man. 22s are great. My Taurus M44 44 mag, the front sight blew off first shot. Taurus still don't have the pin or the sight in stock 7 months later. Finally just paid a gunsmith to put a Smith & Wesson sight on. So that's, I've constantly heard that Taurus is improving. And to a degree I believe it, but I think their parts and service probably aren't. I luckily haven't had too many issues, or any issues really. I've lucked out quite a bit. But I've heard a lot of horror stories from their parts and service, so that's unfortunate. I'm sorry that happened to you. But as far as price-wise, it's a risk. So I picked up this tracker, which is equivalent to, like a Smith & Wesson Combat 69. This was, I believe, $460 new. For a 5-shot 44 mag revolver, and the size frame is a 357. Luger doesn't really offer anything like this, so Smith & Wesson's really the only game. I would figure I'd probably saved almost $300 by going with this, so it's kind of a risk. If you're willing to get a cheaper gun and hopefully not have issues, it's always something kind of I'm thinking about, is it going to go out of time sooner or something like that, but so far it's been good. Yeah, so you still made out, shoots well, and half the price. Yep, no, so that's the thing. You save some money. Yeah, you might have a hiccup here or there, but if you're willing to either work on it yourself or take it to a gunsmith and fix your problem yourself, I think that Taurus revolvers are a great buy. I don't have, I believe the model you're talking about, the M44. I'd really like to to get one of them to add to my 44 mag collection, but we'll see. Sorry, I missed that comment there. Look back here. Do you have a Canic or a Beretta or Glock? I see you put review there. I've done a review on a Canic. My brother had a Canic. A pretty nice gun. I liked it. And a Glock. I've had many Glocks. My wife has a Glock that she carries, a Glock 30S. Yeah, so back in videos I've made, I have quite a bit of content on them. And I have quite a bit of experience shooting between the two. I don't know. I like most guns. I can find something to like about most guns, to be honest. Canic, good price point. I don't have any experience with a Beretta per se, so don't really have an opinion on that. But Glocks are good. I like how they're not really modular, but they are, because you can get so many different parts. What's the best rifle for you? So that's a double-edged question there. Yeah. So best rifle for me, personally, like where I live, southern Michigan, with my hunting limitations, with can't use bottle-necked cartridges and stuff for deer hunting or game hunting in southern Michigan. I like using my 44 mag lever gun. It's got a lot of versatility. I can use it for everything. Good for home defense. You can use it as a club. So good wood stock, and they're compact, and I like them. So that's my favorite rifle. But I think most people who I ask them, they're saying Beretta better than Glock because of the trigger issue. So I guess the trigger issue would depend on what you're thinking on the trigger. Different Glocks have different triggers. I don't know if anybody's ever noticed that. So I know when I got some Austrian-made Glocks, they typically had. So there's one. I think my wife's Glock 30S. It's got some ridges on it. It's not overly smooth. I didn't like the feel of it. It just didn't fit the hand or my finger very well. And as far as like the trigger pull, it is kind of spongy. I like personally my SIG P320 trigger pull a lot more than a Glock. I really can't remember the Canic fully. It's been a couple of years since I've shot it. So right now, that being said, between the Glocks that we have here and the SIG I have, I really prefer the P320 trigger over the Glock. So sorry, that's not a Beretta, but what do I think of the German Luger pistol? It's cool. I'll probably never own one, unfortunately. Just that they're hard to find. Yeah, right. From the 40s. No, they're probably hard to find. I kind of wish, it'd be cool if more companies make some like replicas that were actually, the correct style, not just like a 22 version of something. Was it the STG 44? Some guys put out some limited runs of that in the correct caliber, and I mean that's great. That's cool. I think more companies, smaller companies, should be doing that, especially for somebody who's interested in something like that. But no, the German Luger, that's a cool looking gun. I like the way it looks. I'm sure it's kind of fun to shoot. They say a handgun is difficult to disassemble. That's subjective, to be honest. Any handgun is going to be either easy or hard. Just depending on your skill set and what you need to get out of it. So that's like, okay, I got this revolver here, this tracker. To disassemble, for the most part, you're going to be taking off this plate here. So you got to take the grip off, take off this plate to get to the guts, and it's not overly simple to get inside here and actually work on something. Is it that hard? No, but it is a little extra work. I know, like something like a Glock. Hey, just pull down some tabs, slide it off. Nice big P320. You got a little flip lever. It's easy to get down to the base components and really clean things out. But as far as like for cleaning purposes, typically a revolver, you open the cylinder, you can clean your chambers, you can clean your cylinder out, front face, everything, and you can get good access to your barrel. So really, you don't have to take these apart very often because most of the moving components are easily accessible just by their very nature. So close that up. So yeah, no, it's just up to your experience, really. So that'll be something, if you're new to guns, you'll probably have to try to figure out, you'll get a gun, you'll have to do, what I did first when I first got into handguns and whatnot. Really, it kind of took me a little bit to, I like to tinker, so I'll figure it out. That's the beauty of YouTube. So I typically try to, guns I get, I'll try to show at least a quick disassembly or something, just to try to help somebody out, because that's a fairly common issue for people, So, my grandfather was cleaning his gun with car grease. Yeah, no, that's, it typically depends. So like, I use some ATF fluid sometimes, this automatic transmission fluid. It has quite a few detergents in it, so as far as like cleaning rust or something like that, it's a little thin, so I added some other oils to it. I'll use that sometimes as a base coat, or for applying oil, or as a scrub coat. If I got like a rust deposit, it's pretty easy to work with, like a piece of steel wool or something like that with it. Yeah, using car grease, it's a lubricant. I guess grease isn't always a detergent, so as far as cleaning off, like hand grease, which can be acidic, or sweat, stuff like that, tends to be acidic on guns. So typically grease isn't going to clean it off per se, but if you scrub it enough, it might come clean. The grease should help protect it from rusting, and it should keep things lubricated to a degree. It's thick. Sorry, man, gotta go to Trump's addressing the rally. Oh, didn't even, yeah, that's all good. So, thanks for stopping out. Alright, well, if anybody's got anything else, I'll probably wrap it up here soon. Kind of went a little farther than I was going to originally, but hopefully everybody enjoyed the kind of things we talked about, and I will hope to do one soon in the future again. So this is fun. It's been a little while since I've done one, so hopefully you all liked it, and I guess I'll be back with you guys real soon. So, all right, thanks for watching, and if anybody has any questions, okay, so that's one thing clear. Somebody asked me, do I sell weapons or just for learning? Just for learning. I don't sell anything, for sure, no. This channel's mainly just about, learning, kind of education. Not saying I'm an expert, be all, end all, but strictly, I just like to teach things, help people get familiarized with them if they're, looking into comparing two different types of guns as well. I like to be able to have that as an option for, look at some of the stuff I've had, experiences I've had, and use that in their purchasing decisions. So, no, I don't sell anything, and I never will on this channel. So, yeah, that's a clear-cut answer right there for you. But, all right, well, thanks for the good questions, and yeah, I'll end her right there, and I'll be back with you guys soon.